Hello and welcome to another one of the Dorset and Guernsey's areas YouTube. This year we are planning to actually take them more with the teaching element behind them. So today I want to take you through two designs using just a supermarket bunch of flowers, one using floral foam and a foam free design. So I'm going to start with my foam free design, and I am using these drinking yogurt bottles. Now I find actually I put them into a tray. Now this could be a tray of any size, it could be glass, it can be plastic, it could be ceramics. That's your choice. And now I'll go about how I went about assembling these. Now my bottles I have bound with double-sided tape, and you remove the double-sided tape from your and we just keep sticking them together. It's not critical where you put the tape as long as this makes contact with the bottle that's going to be next to it. In here I have 19 bottles. I'm just showing you how to do the inner part, and then you can build on this. You may even like to look at different shapes, but build it up, and then the next row will go round, and then finally, just to hold it all together, I go round once or twice I bind it with the pot tape. So that's how we start the design. So now we have this, and then I like to pop it in. That sits very nicely into I've got a basket. Then we need to fill all the little pots with water. But I also find it's not critical about filling the little pots. It's also, as long as you've got water in each pot and in the bottom of the dish, because where you can actually use the spaces between the pots for some of your stems. I think we've just about got some in every pot. It most probably would need a bit more of a top up. And then I'm going to use this like we used to use. You could use it to make a posy design. Now I've got some of the Tom Thumb Pittosporum, and I'm just going to pop it in because I want this partly as well to work as my mechanics. And as I say, you can go between the pots as well if you've got water in a dish reservoir below. This is a good way to recycle these pots, because when you go through, there's two of you having one a day, we do seem to get quite a lot of these little pots. I know they're recyclable, but it is quite nice to be able to use it. And in between that as well, I've got just a few I'm going to lay in here, a few of the small heuchera leaves. I don't know the name. It's one of those I've just picked up on a plant sales table. It's got a beautiful maroony pink back, so if you don't see the green you might see the pink side. So I thought this went with these shades of flowers that I've got here. So using this as my mechanics as well. And so as long as they're in water, you must probably find they will last better in here than they would perhaps in Oasis. This is a design actually, I do this one at home when I get these bunches of flowers given me. This recording for this is now being recorded in our 3rd lockdown. So I've actually entitled this demonstration the Lockdown Supermarket Dash. So I don't know about you, but I am certainly not comfortable being in the supermarket. I tend to get up very early in the morning, and I say early, I mean early. I go at 6 o'clock in the morning to do my week's shop. If anyone really knows me well, they know that is not like me, because I'm not usually my brightest, but I like to get it done, in and out when there's not many people about, and I will only do it once a week. So I do dash when I'm in there, I don't hang about. So there, we've just covered our mechanics. These little bottles, if you want to, you can spray them if you really wanted to change them. They could look quite attractive in a glass dish, all sprayed silver, so you can see them through the glass. Now in these bunches, which I think are quite difficult to arrange, we have 2 gerbers or 2 geminis, a stem of single chrysanths, a stem of pink chrysanths, 1 stem of spray carnations, 1 pink rose, and a spray of double chrysanths. So not the easiest of things to make an arrangement with, and some little, and I think these are a little seed pod. So I'm going to start, I've only got 1 of these, so I think I'll make this my central flower. So I'm going to take my centre pot and pop that in the middle. Now these are going to be the 2 hardest to use, because I need to place these quite carefully, because I don't want them to be sat like this, because they're going to look at 2 eyes. So I'm actually going to put them together so they can actually sit one on top of the other together. We have 1 stem of carnation. I'm going to try and cut that carefully to get a couple of little placements out of that. But this idea reminds me of when I was a child. My mother had a bowl that she used to put sort of flowers and that in, and it just had one of those glass centerpieces with all the holes in it. So now I'm going to take the chrysanth and place these out evenly over the whole design, so we can get so visually the colour will be evenly distributed. I do have to have a confession that I didn't do the supermarket dash for these on this occasion. I was very lucky that we got a son that works in Tesco's, and he has said, "Mum, if there's anything you ever want, just let me know. So these arrived on my doorstep, so I haven't even been out to choose the colour. So really it's not a lot different than actually someone actually giving you a bunch. And then I'm going to do the same. I think what I'll do is I'll put a few of these in, I might not use them all. A few of the white double. Taking some of the colours are beautifully matched, but really you haven't got enough of any one thing to sort of do a complete design. Now we'll use a few of the single ones. So as long as the end of the stem is in the water, it'll be absolutely fine. Using some of the buds as well. And then I use some of this, but I'll keep this fairly long. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's obviously a little tiny seed pod of something. So it will give a little bit of, well, it's another texture, another form. Just elevates it a little bit to take away the flatness. And there we have our first design, turning a simple bunch of flowers into something I think is quite pleasing to sit on a hearth or on a low coffee table. Welcome back, and now for the second design. For this design I'm using an oasis dish with floral foam in it, and I've started by putting my first two pieces of foliage in for you, and they're phormiums. Now I will just talk you through how I went about. Just very simply take the phormium, bend it back over the top, and I've added a little staple, and I tried to staple across the main vein, and there we have how I did the phormiums. I'll just lay that down there. Now, using this type of flower, I'm going to actually do a design, and this is another one I do when these bunches turn up. My lad that works in Tesco's, he does spoil me actually, because every now and again I get a bunch of Tesco flowers. So, and I used to have to do bunches for him for his partner, and bless him, he'd bring a selection, and he would go around the shop and just pick up all the things he fancied, which not always go together. So I'm covering this again. You see I'm using the black floral foam, and I'm just going to put some of this lovely dark Pittosporum. I just thought this went so well with the pinks, and the reason I'm using the supermarket flowers really is, to be honest, I haven't got enough stuff in the garden at the moment to actually pick, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in this position, or you're lucky enough to have a bunch of flowers bought for you and you want to find something to do with them. But I do feel all through this lockdown we do need to keep ourselves busy. Unfortunately, some of my heucheras, I've tried to pick them, but I've noticed got one with a little bit of a hole in it. I'm going to group the heucheras together on one corner, and this arrangement is all about grouping. So there we have our foliage put in. And now I'm going to space out my flowers. I have, I say, just one of these beautiful pink roses. I'm going to remove some of the leaves, but not all of them. And I'm going to use this for my height. So I'm going up and use that as my top flower. Then I have just 2 Geminis. So I'm going to group these. Still being very careful that I don't end up getting 2 eyes looking at me. So I'm grouping the two Geminis. Then what I tend to do with these other flowers, we've got one of these, so I might take this and try and make this into a couple of pieces and do another line of pink carnations. So another group. And then we'll have a look at the pink chrysanthemum and look very carefully at it. And I'm going to do another grouping. Following through in some form of design, and following through in some lines of, so I'm taking the pink all the way through. And get some more from the front. I do hope you've all enjoyed watching these YouTubes, because I've enjoyed watching them. And the lovely part about it is, I think of having so many of us doing them, you have got such a variety of work, because I think we've all got our own style. So that is what's made it really exciting. And I've done another line, and I've taken it in a line. Now we've got some single chrysanthemums. This is not quite such a big head. I think what I'd do is take this one, just a little grouping here. And there's a couple which I'll take right through and come out the other side. So now we have 2 of the stems of chrysanthemums put through. And then finally, I think I'm going to fill in, I've got a lot more of this, so I'm going to make several groupings of this one. Filling in another group of white, and then I think I'll take these last few and bring them down through. So that's, I've got the white and then taken the white right through to the back, and then finally I'm going to feed in with these pretty little, not sure what it is, but it's pretty, and it'll just give another texture. Also helps to take any flatness that might be there away. And having looped our phormiums, it also gives us some enclosed space. I'm going to put that in 2 placements, I think. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope I've inspired you all to use that simple supermarket bunch of flowers, and I am really looking forward to a time when we can all meet together. Thank you.